the grave, but they will speak them to the world for the attention that they crave. The only kind of person that could ever trust a knave would be another knave. Additional knave. Hey, look over there, it's a pair of knaves, both loathsome and hateful, and neither have shaved. You can't believe a knave, and that is the trouble with knaves. You can't believe a knave. The knave of hearts will steal your tarts and claim them as his own. He'll take away your woman and leave you all alone. Knave is an archaic and pejorative term for an unscrupulous man or household servant. Knaves will pave the way for great injustices, and no one is safe, they are the devil's slaves. You can't believe a knave, and that is the trouble with knaves. You can't believe a knave.
And I'm back. Hang on. There we are.
How does it feel to be spooky, Si?
Very. Intro, Ben and Liam with conversation how unboxing this game /magic/describe/do.
No, that means a change in... Never mind.
So what's the first bit then? The first bit, before the introduction, we're going to say you can get super loot.
That's for the end.
That's for the end, so why is it first?
Because I wrote it down first. Do you want to say it?
Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah, man, rubbing nipples is amazing.
I mean, at least you own it, I guess.
Kittens.
Robes.
Jack! Ow!
So we're basically like 20 years in the future, but our clothes make us look like we're scummy college dropouts from the 80s.
I'm recording, go away! It's really hot in here.
You're really hot.
Ah. No, but seriously, there's like 14 lights and it's terrifying.
Are you proud, father?
You know he's not.
So I just wasn't prepared for how sexy that was. You really caught me off guard.
Mayo.
I eat you every day, oh. You make me feel okay, oh. Mayo.
Simon, vlog. It's a good vlog. It's a good vlog, buddy.
Good lord.
Tell the world about promoting gigs.
Hello, Internet. We are speaking to you from the past. It's currently our now, but to you, it's also now, but our past.
Let's see your best impression, Ben.
Of what?
Just your best impression.
Betty the got the whoops in my beret, caused a lot of trouble. Who's gonna see the Queen on Christmas Day then?
You're editing it correct.
Nah, I might just upload it straight from the SD card. That's just how I roll.
Fair enough.
Sausage link.
Right.
I go through my mic.
Going through your stuff.
Today's word is toilet. A small gift that you may give to a child as a solstice or Christmas gift. Toilet.
I did it.
Robes. Check.
Yeah.
Let's sing a song about our predictions for the future.
It will happen unless we're all dead.
Quickly, Ben, witty retort.
Ha! That's a sort of cake that makes jokes. Oh, that's a wittier tort.
This off.
That was Sinbad's idea. He's our tambourinist. He's got one really big arm, which is weird because his tambourine's really quite small.
Ben's just turned up to remote. And the battery's out! God damn it! What a day.
I'm in film!
You have to get a new Ben. This one's all stupid.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo page. Ah, Bebo shut down.
That's funny. That's current.
Isn't it?
Ah!
Anyone in?
Never occurred to me how much like one of your feet properly looks like a bell end.
Hey Liam, I made us a Bebo.
Idiot!
There's no way to talk about yourself. Fucking idiot.
Okay, Ben. Okay, yes, I know you're angry. Ow, my ass.
Look at this. I'm going to draw a frowny face because I'm really disappointed at you. Only we're going to know it's there.
Praise, please.
Right, do French.
French, not James Acaster.
Brick. Corduroy. Colombian hash.
Lick the stump!
Filibuster. Moose furs. No! 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 No!
Come with me
Come.
and you'll be
Ben.
in a world of photosensitive seizures.
Lavender oil. Marjorie. Marge Simpson. Abe Simpson. Abe Lincoln. Top hats. Fedoras. Incels. Hand jobs. Hand lotion. Lotion. Oils. Back to lavender oil. There you go. Did it in one. I have nothing else to give. Right, go stand somewhere.
3, 2, 1.
Wait, hang on. I'm having not just second thoughts, but third, fourth, and fifth thoughts. I don't know if I should do this right.
No, it's not. Fucking hell.
3.
No, hang on, wait.
I didn't tell him to do that. Why didn't you tell him?
Milk.
That's the job, mate. You ready? Mm-hmm. Inhale a wee bit. There we go.
Which, if you think about it, does just mean that they're all going to end up hanging in prison. Hi! Welcome to the Conversation Hat live stream.
We are mourning.
Liam, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I just didn't expect to be mourning the deaths of inmates quite so early. You know, I thought we'd lean into that. We'd ease into it. But here we are.
Do you not remember a few months ago where I would start the live streams by screaming, Epstein didn't kill himself?
You mean the very first live stream? Yeah, I remember the very first live stream.
Yeah, I thought that I'd sort of bring it round. It's 2021.
Ooh.
Let's keep the old formula, but jazz it up a little bit.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, it's good. I dig it. I'm really into it and everything. I just wasn't expecting it, which I guess is on me.
I don't think you're meant to swear in the first minute of anything put on YouTube, so
yeah, but
I kind of wanted to drag this intro out before I said the word paedophile.
The thing is, we've been live for 13 minutes.
Oh, in which case...
Pedo.
It's safe to say paedophile.
It's safe to say paedophile.
Quarter
God, you can't
past
even...
one on a Sunday afternoon when people are in church.
God, you can't even accuse anyone of being a nonce anymore without people telling you, come on.
PC gone mad.
Everything's...
Paedophile coercion gone mad.
I think we should stop telling the paedophiles who to fancy. If we just change the definition of the word paedophile, they'll all have to stop. This isn't what the stream is about.
You've gone down the logic of both the Conservative Party and Donald Trump.
You can't apply logic to either of them. Come on.
No, but in your thing of if we change the Tories changed the definition of poverty.
Ha! Yeah, they did.
So they were like, hey, we've got 50,000 families out of poverty.
You don't.
Because we've lowered the amount of money you have to have before it counts as actual poverty.
Also, we've made it very hard to claim unemployment benefits, and so people are just going homeless instead, and somehow we have reduced the number of people on job seekers allowance.
Yeah, because they can't claim it without an address.
Yeah. You idiots.
And Trump said that we wouldn't have as many positive test results if we did fewer tests.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Not right either. So
none of it's right.
when you say changing the definition of the word would solve the problem, it doesn't really happen like that often.
Look, all I'm saying is that maybe pedos shouldn't be hitting on children. Like, I don't think that's an outlandish thing to say.
I will agree with you there.
I don't know if it counts as hitting on. I just think the whole
They
thing's a bit
shouldn't be
wrong.
doing. Stop it! Enough.
Bad.
Stop it now.
We're going to take a hard stance and say, come on,
Come on.
come on. You're better than
enough.
that, probably. This is the live stream before the live stream. Isn't it? Isn't it coherent and thematic and broadly speaking good? I haven't seen.
On.
It's certainly live. Ben, I haven't seen you all year.
Ha 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 ha!
I did it. I did the joke.
True.
I did the joke.
That's true because it is a new year, Liam.
It is that would be why, I think. Thank you, some guy named Sai. We have achieved the bare minimum by being live, by showing up. We've done it.
Yeah. I mean, we've shown up and we've turned the thing on.
We turned the thing on. Ben even restarted the web chat once. You know, we're committed to doing as little as possible. So it's New Year. Is that why all the numbers changed?
Happy New Year.
That's why the numbers all went up by one.
That's why one number changed.
Right. Yes. And that's a good thing, is it?
That's the big number. It's people are going to say, yay, 2020 is over. What a great year. But time is a man-made construct and doesn't really have any impact on the events that happen within it. So the 12 months considered as 2020 was kind of shit. But then no one really said that 2019, that December, that was a bad month. Because they see it as a whole year instead of little chunks.
Yeah.
So really, 2020 was shit before it was 2020.
I broadly agree with you, but I'm going to take a hard stance against Ben's. All Ben's, not just you. Don't worry. The only thing is, like, time being a man-made construct. It sort of is and it's sort of not, because we still have days and nights, and we still have seasons, and we still circle round the sun, or the sun circles round us, or the earth is flat. I can't remember which is which. Flat sun conspiracy. That's why when the sun turns over, it's nighttime. Solved it. Done it. Thank you. I'll accept the Nobel Peace Prize in Bitcoin form. There is like, I see what you mean. Like I don't know why we've decided that like halfway through the winter is when the numbers are all going to change, and that's not going to change anyone's lives, because it's a bit like saying, oh, close the pubs at 11 because COVID doesn't strike after 11. Like, we still have COVID now. COVID doesn't know it's 2021. COVID doesn't give a shit. And if it keeps saying COVID, the stream might get taken down.
Or, like, you'll summon it.
Ooh.
Like
Yes.
Beetlejuice or Bloody Mary.
I'm not sure if these webcams are mirrored, because if they have mirrors in them, then, like, I've said it 3 times into a thing.
They're reflective. I don't think they're mirrored.
Like, DSLRs are mirrored cameras. I don't think webcams are. Probably not. I would assume not. I don't know.
But it has to be in the bathroom mirror if it's Bloody Mary, right?
Does it have to be the bathroom mirror? Not just any mirror?
I always thought it was the bath. They normally do it in the bathroom mirror in the movies.
That's true. Isn't that just because that's the only private mirror?
Yeah.
Speaking of private mirrors, did you see the Charlie Brooker 2020 thing? I didn't realise it was, because they said from the creator of Black Mirror. I was like, oh, it's going to be weird. It's not. It's just Charlie Brooker's yearly wipe, and it was really good. But it's good. It's a good laugh.
It was. I'd seen it. I'd seen a number of people going, "Oh, Death to 2020." Was it Death to 2020?
I think that was it. Yeah.
Oh, so funny. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, okay. So that's a thing.
Yeah, give it a pop.
I didn't think I'll give it a pop. I didn't pop at all.
Did you not
but
pop?
when I inevitably went on my daily dose of Netflix because everyone's doing it. Because there's still not a lot else to do.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, it popped up as a suggested thing, and I watched it, and 'twas most funny.
Yeah, pretty good. I liked it.
It was funny in also that I think I was laughing almost all the way through it constantly.
Yeah.
Even the bits where you just all go, ooh, hoo, 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 hoo.
Yeah, definitely. Jolly good.
Who's the historian?
Oh, Hugh Grant?
Hugh Grant?
Yeah, his character was amazing. Real
It
prick.
was great. Just a shouty historian who thinks that he was in Star Wars.
Oh,
No,
I
it was
need
me and the little bear fellows.
I need to share something that is not information I found myself, other than I heard it on another podcast. Tom Cruise fucks fish. Like, actually. There's like loads of reports.
Wait, just Tom Cruise.
Yep.
Noted actor of films.
And cult member.
Puts his penis into fish.
Specifically bathroom fish. Captain Buddy 7 is with me on this.
Bathroom fish.
So what happens, I got this from the last podcast network shows, so page 7, and I think last podcast on the left as well. Basically, there's been a whole bunch of reports of Tom Cruise like either leaving sets or like going around supermarkets with his security cronies, and either he will go up to a fish counter and buy a fish, have it wrapped off, and then disappear into the bathroom, or like there'll be a limousine and a guy and a security guy will walk to the limousine with a packet and hand it to what is clearly Tom Cruise in the back, and then the limousine drives off, and like 5 minutes later they pull over and they put the same package in a bin.
Jizzy fish comes flying out of the window of the limo.
Yeah.
Is there actual recorded footage of this happening?
There's not recorded footage of it. There's and obviously it's like, it could be like a big game of Chinese whispers or something, but it sounds like lots of people have sort of seen similar things happen and been like, well, I can't put that on the internet because no one will believe it. And then now that a couple of people have said it, loads more people are coming forward just like, yeah, no, I saw exactly the same thing at a different location. So there was one where I think, and I'm telling a story of someone telling a story of someone reading something on the internet, so this is like...
So, pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt, maybe. The story was something to the effect of they subtly followed the crew's entourage into the bathroom, and when they were coming out, they looked in the bin and there was just like a completely wrecked up fish, just like with its guts clearly all fucked up, just in the bin. And Captain Buddy 7 is right. It's a lot funnier just to pretend it's true. It's going to be a Dianetics thing, like you don't reach level 10 of Scientology without fucking a few fish. It's real.
But they'd be cold.
They would be cold. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what does it for them.
Sure, I mean, yeah. Do you think this is the same as the Richard Gere putting a gerbil up his bum bum?
I would say
Richard Gere putting gerbils up his bum?
I'd say it's weirdly more believable. You know?
It's going to be less damaging to the person fucking a fish than putting a gerbil up their bum.
Oh, certainly. But I don't think the welfare of the animal is necessarily at the front of the perpetrator's brain.
But, you know, it's dead, which is
Oh, yeah, the
That-
fish
that
is dead.
happened
like,
anyway.
Yeah.
If this is true, why would it be? Why would he go to? I've got an image of Tom Cruise walking into Morrison's with 3 or 4 big bald blokes with sunglasses and suits. Him going up to Mavis at the fish counter, going, "I'll have one of those fish." No, that bigger fish. The one with the mouth the size of my requirements. And then them wrapping it up and him going into the store bathroom with his mate standing outside, and then he buggers the fish.
Well, no, I think he mouth fucks it probably.
Mouth fuck, granted, yes. Buggery would imply an anus, which I don't.
I don't want to know if fish have butts, man. It's just not my business.
I mean, I guess they must, but anyway.
Sure.
And then just bins it. There's a toilet. Flush it down the toilet.
From whence it came. I imagine it's a bit too big for the toilet. From what the story is.
Sounds like he mashes it up while he's having his way with it.
See, I wasn't nauseous until just then.
Does he have fish bits on his willy when he leaves?
Oh, probably.
Because you can't wash that. Not in a sink.
Maybe it's like what Motley Crue did, where like when they were trying to have like long-term girlfriends and they would still accidentally cheat on them whilst they were like on tour and stuff. So they all used to go buy egg burritos. After indiscretions, they would go to a Mexican place, then rub egg burritos on themselves, and then go home. And apparently that would hide the stench of their indiscretion.
Why would their dick smell like egg burritos normally?
Yeah, quite.
Because that implies a return to normality.
Yeah.
Do their dicks always smell like egg burritos?
Just wash.
Or does egg burrito neutralize whatever components?
Maybe it's like
residue, perhaps might be a good word.
Yes. Gross. Maybe it's that. Maybe like he's Oh, okay, right. Okay, I think I've worked it out. So you know the whole Tom Cruise is gay conspiracy idea. Not that it matters.
Does he like fish dicks?
He must do. What am I? A gay fish?
Gay fish.
And that came out before we knew Kanye was mental. It's okay to be mental and it's okay to be gay. It's just not okay to be Tom Cruise or Kanye. And it rhymes, so it's true.
Almost.
Yeah, so maybe he goes and has like a torrid homosexual love affair, and then like on his way home, he's just like, wait, no, gotta get the butt stank off my dick. Find me the nearest fishmonger. And then he has round 2 with the fish. Yeah. Some guy named Sai, I'd love to know why you got timed out for a second. What word did you try to say? 3 messages were deleted by moderator. What did you say? Interesting. Yeah, it's not fair to have anyone like timed out in the chat when we're talking about this. That's not fair.
What fucking sea creatures to mask your adulterous smell.
Yeah. I don't know, Sai. I can't see the inner workings of Streamlabs. Oh no, you said the F word. That's a fucking disgrace.
Fish.
I'll try to fix that at some point. I'm making it look like I'm writing down a note. I'm not. It's blank. So fruit. He's being silenced by fruit. Yes, so that is some hot goss, which I choose to believe is true. I think there's some bits of it that are inherently wrong. I just want to know more. What do you think, Ben? You're looking very thoughtful.
But it'd be so cold.
It would. It absolutely would.
And is it the temperature that's the point? Because you can do stuff with ice cubes, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it because it's... I feel like I need to watch a Louis Theroux documentary because of this conversation.
About what?
Celebs who fuck dead fish.
Yeah, no,
Do you think there's fishermen who do that?
I'm sure there's one or two. There's a lot of fishermen.
Because they just sit in the rain on their own.
Yeah. Maybe, probably. I don't want to say that 100% of fishermen definitely have sex with fish, but probably one or two, sure. But there's
got to
probably
be some.
There's probably one or two farmers that have sex with fish. There's probably one or two school teachers that fuck fish. Like, you know.
There's probably one or two farmers that have sex with corn.
Yes.
They shag their crops.
Yes, they just like they take their trousers off and they just run in and out of a cornfield for a half hour until they pass out.
With Theresa May.
No.
Running through the fields of wheat.
Yes, it must be nice to have space and open air.
How many people do you think have got into the profession that they have got into because they are sexually aroused by one or more components of that job?
I have a really dark answer. That is actually, it's going to sound darker than I intend for it to be, because I am going to say teachers, but not for that reason. I've unfortunately, over many years in the profession, met people who seem to be like have a real problem with power and seem to like only work in the sphere of education, not as teachers, but as like senior supporting roles, like genuinely seem to have a problem with power, and like the only reason they're in the job they're in is because like they can only assert power over an industry that revolves around young people. And it's really messed up. And I do want to say, for the record, not anyone I currently work with, probably. Probably. But if you think it's you, yeah, it is. It really is.
I think if you think that it's you in any negative way, then you should probably try to avoid being that person.
Yeah, just have a sit down and a big fuck off of a cliff. What were you going to say? You were going to say something much less suable. Much less litigious.
I was going to say something a bit nicer, yeah.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Pony farmer.
If people are like, I don't like it when people fill the kettle up all the way to the top, even though they're making one cup of tea. That's bad for the environment.
Sure.
And if you're going, I want to be good for the environment. I wonder if I do that. I hope I don't do that. Then you would take that and go, well, I'll make sure that I'm not that.
Sure. Yeah, no, I understand.
If you don't give a shit,
yeah,
then you can fuck off your cliff.
Yeah. What are we doing with our sleeves? Because I like it. We're doing like little sleevey dinosaurs.
My heating is broken.
Yeah, mine too. My hands are shrunk. Ignore the nubbin that's right here. I swear to God,
my heating's broken, and this is the largest hoodie that I have.
Right, that's fair.
The glorious and available for purchase Stabbed Panda hoodie.
And where can you get them, Ben?
Internet.
Yeah, fair enough. I wonder if you Google Stabbed Panda hoodie, if it just comes up.
www.hoodieatbuy.com.
Oh shit, yeah, it does. Stabbed Panda hoodie, Redbubble. There you go. They're like 30 quid. They're real nice.
They are real nice.
They fit and stuff.
They do fit and stuff.
There's another design that's a little bit similar to ours.
Bye.
Oh yeah, you can get.
Liam, did you have a lovely Christmas?
Yeah, it was all right. I didn't move for several days. Yeah, that was nice. I ate too much food. reflected on life. Watched Rogue One.
Had you seen it before?
Oh yeah, it's a great film. Tried.
It's the best Star Wars movie. It is.
I failed my 4th attempted run through of Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun because I just knew exactly what was going to happen next. So I've gotten to that point with it. So I was like, I should not for a few months, and then we'll come back fresh.
Yeah.
If I know season 2 is going to come out, I'll perhaps wait for season 2, watch that through, cack my pants, and then start again from season 1, and then watch them all in one go. Because there's only like 6 episodes. Like it's real easy to just accidentally nut through in an afternoon.
That's how I first watched it.
Yeah. It's good though. Fucking hell. Yeah, no, Christmas was chill. New Year's, just sort of for the first time, like deliberately tried to not have plans because we've always found that like there's a huge expectation to do stuff and have a great time on New Year's, and it's just a bit much. So we've started alternating. One year we'll stay in and watch The Hootenanny and eat Chinese food, and then the next year we'll go out and pretend to have fun. And alternating like that is really nice because it takes the pressure off of staying. Like it takes the pressure off when we decide to stay in, because then it's like, oh, we'll just go out next year. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll just be chill this time. And then if we go out and sort of have a crappy time, it's a bit easy to be like, well, this is why we only do this every other year.
Sure.
Or even we go out and we have a fine time and it's fine. But then that's not a very catastrophic way to look at things, is it? So this year was weird because obviously we didn't have the option to go out. So I think we perhaps felt a bit... I'm talking on behalf of Laura here as well. I certainly felt a bit... what's the word? Resentful of the fact that I had to stay at home. So it felt more like, screw you telling me what to do. Yeah, but also I'm not going to go out because COVID, innit?
Sure.
So we sort of didn't make plans. We had like a couple different live streams and a couple different things that we knew we could do. And in the end, we just had like a chat with a few people online. We played Among Us for a bit and just sort of hung out till like 2 a.m. So it was fine. It wasn't incredible. It wasn't boring. It was, it was just right, I think. What I don't seem to have a trouble staying up late. Like, I found that my creativity tends to peak just after midnight most of the time. So if I have like a creative deadline, it will be a lot of late nights, because that's how I find that I work. I get like the most interesting stuff out of me in the least amount of time.
Yeah. Best way to come up with good ideas is to have a little notebook by your bed.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You just wake up at 3 a.m. and go, what if whiskers were made of cheese?
Then the mice would be attacking the cats.
Or perhaps the mice would have cheesy whiskers themselves.
Oh, I see.
See, you got a lot going on with that.
There's a lot in that idea.
That was me pretending that it was 3 a.m.
That's how powerful it is.
Imagine what it'd be like if it actually were 3 a.m.
There'd be maybe a second thought.
Maybe the whiskers would be made of cheese, or maybe the cheese would be made of whiskers. Fuck knows.
What about the cat food whiskers? Be made of mice.
Be made of mice.
Yeah, obviously. What the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, so like most nights, if I want to stay up till 4 a.m, easy. But for some reason, New Year's it always gets to like midnight, and I'm like, yeah, I am actually done now. I do actually just need to. I don't even care if it's my bed. I just need to crawl under something and stay there for a while.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's that. That's all of that. Do you have any more inappropriate thoughts before we get into the actual podcast recording? Oh boy, do we have a show for you.
Do we?
We do. I have notes and everything. I've got like a whole page on Google Doc at least.
I don't have any tissue near me,
Right.
so I might just do a big sniff now.
Go on then.
It's gonna sound gross, and this is a big warning to everyone if you don't want to hear what's about to happen.
Okay.
Just-
Do you want to do it now? I heard it from over there. That was too much. You're a wrong'un. You're a big wrong'un. Did you get it out of your system though?
No, if anything, it's just gone further in, which is sort of what you do when you sniff.
I thought that was the goal.
What, to get it further in?
I don't know. You were the
You
one
asked
that.
if I got it out of my system.
Yeah.
Sorry, if I blew my nose, I'd get it out of the system.
Right. Are you asking for permission to just go blow your nose because you can?
No, I've got nothing to blow now.
Sex joke. Haha.
Snuffled up my snoot.
Yes, you have.
Uh,
Blunderbuss.
Are we beginning?
Some guy named Sly made a penis joke by the sounds of it. He's got something you can blow. Hoi, 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 hoi. Don't know what he means. But he is a founder and a 1 month subscriber, so I assume that means you got to do it, buddy. Right. Podcast?
Yeah, we've lost a few listeners because of my sniff. Let's begin the show proper.
I haven't hit record yet, so
What?
I'm about to hit record. Have you hit record?
Yes.
Oh, when did you hit record?
When I went.
Oh, that big inhale of air was you hitting record.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to know that, am I?
Yeah. Obviously.
Okay then. You good? I mean, I assume you're
What?
good. Are you good? What? What?
What?
What?
Hello?
What?
Are we
Hello?
Are we live?
We've always been like, the word is recording.
Liam?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
There's a really big aeroplane. Helicopter.
That's not an aeroplane. That's you tooting. What have you eaten?
3 beans. And a fart capsule.
Mm.
Beanie. Shall we begin? Let's do it.
Have we not?
Well, no, we've recorded, but we haven't necessarily begun.
Welcome to the Conversation Hat Podcast. A podcast for geeks, creative, and terrible people. This is the live stream episode of the Conversation Hat Podcast. If you're listening live now, hi again. We've been doing this for like an hour, but now we've pressed a button which has nothing to do with you. Ignore it.
Don't
Ignore it.
worry about it. Stop worrying.
Unless you're listening to this not live,
Right.
in which case it was recorded,
Yes.
and you've not heard the first bit. So
Right.
ignore that, and any callbacks that we make to it. Don't Google Tom Cruise fish,
Yes.
because stuff will happen.
Yeah, you'll go on and register. He'll turn up at your house.
Just enjoy the show. Just have a lovely time. You're here now. Spend time with us.
Tom Cruise fish is like the easiest way to be put in contact with Scientologists. So if that's your goal, go Google and have a ball. Ben, I have a question. When you do the tagline, do you always deliberately get one of them wrong? Is that on
What
purpose?
Oh, well, because I can never remember exactly what it is. So I just go with what bits I remember, and normally there's at least 60% of the main feel in there.
That's true. Yeah, you got the right basic idea. Just the wrong words.
That's geeks, creative, and terrible people.
Yeah.
Probably.
Artists. Geeks, artists, and terrible
That
people.
one.
Because something...
Creatives and artists are the same sort of thing, kind of, maybe.
The thing about SEO is that you've got to use words that are the same words, not words that have the same meaning as words.
What's SEO?
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, ever.
Come on. What does it stand for?
Search engine optimization.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that.
what is it? Geek artists and terrible people.
Yes, please.
Geeks, artists, and terrible people.
There we go.
Geeks, artists, and terrible people. Geeks, artists, and terrible people. Is
Also,
that made up for it?
Yeah, no, that's good. And those are the names of our Discord channels. We have specific things for geeks, artists, and terrible people. I don't know if Ben's worked this out because he hasn't worked out how Discord works. But in terrible people is just a bunch of rumors that we're starting about each other. I don't know if Ben's seen that.
Really?
Ben hasn't seen that. Yeah, there's lots of Ben rumors in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I've not seen that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to be fun. Hello, podcast
Not about
people.
fish, is there?
Not yet, but there could be. Hello, pod
Ooh.
babies. Wonderful pod
Exciting.
babies. It's a new year. It's a time to celebrate and to acknowledge that nothing has changed.
New year. New year.
New year. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Can we just stop being twats to one another? Like as in the human race? Can we just be a little more empathetic? Maybe. Or does that make me a commie?
Probably makes you a commie.
I'm fine with being a commie. Like I'm more worried about like, you know, looking out for my fellow man. This is one of them things that like, not to get political in the actual podcast because this isn't political. But when people say things like Black Lives Matter, oh, can we not talk about politics at the dinner table? It's not fucking politics. It's about people killing people and how maybe they shouldn't.
I don't think they should.
And universal basic income and like being able to buy tampons and stuff. Like, it's not political. It's about fellow man not being in pain or dying. Yeah. So that's
true.
That's take all of that. That's 2021. That's my prediction.
Although you can't talk about anything and it not be at least in some way political if you want to really dissect things.
Yeah, that's because
if you're saying Black Lives Matter is a political thing, then you can't say, "Oh, lovely potatoes."
Well, you can.
Well, but if you could also go, "Yes, well, because of the geopolitical climate, these potatoes were locally sourced." So I know that you're lying when you say these are lovely potatoes, for we come from a barren land.
Nothing good has ever come out of Croydon. How dare you say the potatoes are fine? You liar. Which one's Croydon? Croydon's the London borough, isn't it? Croydon's
It's
fine.
London.
Croydon's fine.
London.
The contrary to everything we've said so far, this podcast is about the future.
Oh shit! Yes, we do have a have a theme.
There is a topic. That's why the show is named what it is.
What we did.
That's why we did the specific research. We are looking at, well, yeah, like judging by the last 5 minutes of me being a complainy piece of shit, like I didn't really want to do it. I felt very strongly that like I didn't want to do a podcast that was goodbye 2020, you are arse, and everything's going to be different now, because that's not true. And also every stream I've seen and every podcast I've listened to for the last 2 weeks has been exactly about that. Like, we know it was a bit of a garbage year, and I think we should all try a little bit harder to be nice to one another, just in general. But I don't think we need to have another podcast dedicated to that. So I thought, well, actually, that was all I thought. That's all I really said in the meeting. And then Laura came up with the idea of why don't we look at how people of the past, what they thought the years 2020 and 2021 would be like. So me and Ben have looked at some films that were depicting 2020 from, well, one of mine is from the 60s. I've got a 60s and a mid-80s film. When were your films? Can you remember?
1995 and 2012.
Amazing. So that's like the bulk of what the show's going to be. We're looking at what people of the past thought our present day would be like, and I've got like a few little bits of facts and stuff. I have a question for you, Ben, to get us started.
Go on.
As a child, or an adolescent, did you ever think about the future in terms of what you thought science would be capable of, what you thought travel or technology would be as a kid? Did you have any thoughts of like, oh, by 2020 this will happen, or oh, I can't wait to be at a point where this is happening in society?
I drew up a number of rough plans for hoverboards
Right,
when
good.
I was in my mid to late teens,
Yeah.
which sort of went beyond just drawing a line
Right, you had a little
and
more thought.
going, air comes out of here. I was trying to see if it could actually, if I could figure out at least a rough way to actually construct one. I think the furthest I got was magnets, and then, I mean, that's science. All science is something to do with magnets.
Yeah, you got to get magnets in there.
Otherwise, it's not science. What's
It's
the
not
point?
science. Yeah, exactly.
But then I couldn't figure out how to get them to like face each other and that make them float.
I mean, wouldn't you have like a strip in the pavements or on the road or something that was
Well,
magnetic?
This was my downfall because
Yeah.
you would need to have a opposing magnet
Yeah, so
on the road or paths everywhere.
yeah, it wouldn't be like an all-terrain situation. It would be
And if you get to that
like
point,
a tram or a
you've
monorail.
got a braking issue
Yes.
because there'd be no friction, so you would just. I mean, there'd be air resistance, but see, this is why I tabled the plans.
Yeah, I think that's
Because
fair.
I thought better minds than mine would come up with one. And I thought that would have happened
Yeah.
some time ago. And then when we did get hoverboards, they were those stupid wheel things that were so shit you couldn't use them on the road,
Yeah.
on the paths, in buildings, in your own house.
Yeah.
You could use it in your garden,
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
and that was it. So I was a little disappointed with these things. I think a part of me wanted mutants like the X-Men.
Yeah, fair.
Or at least I wanted to be a mutant like in the X-Men. So,
Because that would explain everything.
I mean, other than that, I don't think that I considered these things actually happening, because when I was
Yeah.
growing up, it wasn't so much 2021 we'll have flying cars and all this. It was like 200 years in the future,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
where Sherlock Holmes had been brought back to life from cryogenic freezing and solved crime.
It's quite hard to unfreeze
Genuine
fictional
TV
characters.
show.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century.
Right.
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century.
That sounds
Can't
awful.
remember much of the show itself.
Yeah.
But I remember the theme tune.
Yes, it sounds pretty bad.
I thought it was an interesting thing on a
Yeah.
Saturday morning. But I thought maybe cars would be better.
Yeah, I mean, cars can sort of park themselves. I think that's pretty dope.
They
If
can,
you have an expensive car.
but then I don't know. You know, there has been some advancement, but we have essentially got the same thing as we did 20 years ago, just with Bluetooth.
Yes, that's true.
It's got a little computer in it that, as you said, can sometimes park. More often it goes beep 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 when you're nearly hitting something.
I still think that's crazy sci-fi to me. I think that's awesome.
That's kind of cool, but it's just motion sensors and a little alarm.
Yeah.
If the majority are still, 5 to 10-year-old cars with dents in them.
Yeah. Because people didn't realise they didn't have the little beeper. I don't think I, as a kid, had like clear views of what I thought the future would be. I definitely had ideas of like what I wanted my future to be, but none of it was necessarily about technology and stuff. The only sort of thing I remember clearly thinking was when I was at sixth form, so that would be like 12, 13 years ago. I remember seeing like Bluetooth had come out as a thing very recently then. Like smartphones were still very new. Bluetooth was brand new, and students were using it to like file share or like share images and stuff that we would now just be like, well, we would either just WhatsApp an image or we would go like, drop my phone. Stupid Bluetooth wrists. Would either be like, hey, WhatsApp an image, or it'd be like, oh, look at this. And I remember thinking very clearly, man, I can't wait till Bluetooth has become such a day-to-day thing that I will be afford to have a device that can do it.
Yeah.
So it was more of like, I
think
can't wait till like this becomes just tech that
Standard.
just completely standard, inexpensive technology, so that I will be able to have it. Yes, I know I sound middle class. I'm not.
I still don't think that I've had one pair of Bluetooth speakers. I don't know if they were even Bluetooth. They were just wireless headphones.
I think
Sorry.
they by necessity have to be Bluetooth.
But that's I don't think I've had anything else that's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Unless it's just been Bluetooth and I've not known.
Yeah.
It was going to be such a big thing.
I think there's still a lot to it. Like I've, because of the phone I have, it doesn't have a headphone jack, so I have to use Bluetooth headphones. Bluetooth speakers are pretty handy. Like waterproof Bluetooth speakers are also pretty handy. Like if you're in the shower and like you literally don't want to be alone with your thoughts. I think it's mostly for like.
Why would you?
Exactly, it's mostly for audio purposes. Because like 4G and like Wi-Fi is such an inexpensive thing that you can just like WhatsApp your busy mate a picture of a cat doing something silly if you want to. Whereas back like 13 years ago, you would have to like actually craft an email.
Have to email. Sure.
And then you have to wait till you get Wi-Fi for the email to send. It was this whole thing. So it's interesting how like. Does that mean that for you as well, the only times you thought about the near future and what technological advances there'd be were in films and TV and those occasional Simpsons episodes then?
Pretty much. I think I thought that I remember when like the PS2 came out. I have a vague memory of people talking about the PS5.
Right.
We were so forward thinking. They were like, oh, but PS5, it's probably going to be just like made of glass and like holograms. It's going to be immersive, all that.
Right, yeah.
Which not so much. You
No.
can get VR headsets, which make some people feel sick.
Yes.
I think VR headsets are probably the closest. You know, I thought we would have them sooner.
Yeah.
But we do have almost what I would have imagined in my head now. Because you've got stuff like Beat Saber.
Yeah.
You can play. I mean, I don't think you should. I would not advise playing Resident Evil 7 on a Bluetooth
Screw that.
VR, whatever the piss that is.
Absolutely screw that.
Because no.
Bad idea.
You don't need bees flying at you from out of there.
Less of those bees, you hear me? Yeah.
You don't need to see it like that.
Yeah.
So that's something that I thought about when I was younger. That actually has come to pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was video games and The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Sort of, this will be the future. All doors will go.
Yeah, and there'll be a bloke
Stuff
next to
like
the
that.
door going shh, shh, like in Star Trek. He'll just
Yep.
stand there and make the sound. Good stuff.
No, that wasn't a man. That was.
Oh, that was an envelope,
that-
wasn't it?
It was a piece of paper going in and out of an envelope.
We'll have a guy doing that then.
Little Foley artist.
So we both have two films.
We do.
I watched part of one of these films, and you'll know why that is shortly. And I also have some. I watched a couple of YouTube videos basically like what past predictions of the present day would be. Do you want to go through the films, or shall I blitz through these couple YouTubey type things? What do you want to do? How you want to run this?
How about we do a film each, then the YouTubey things, then a film?
Okay, that sounds good.
Because then if any of it is shit, there's got a likelihood of a good thing next to it.
Yeah. That's why me and you stand so close when we're allowed.
Yeah.
We don't know
One
which
of us can't be that bad.
We don't know which one of us is the faulty one, but it won't be the other one. Probably. Amazing. Do you want to go... Hang on, does that mean... Right, that then logically means that I should go first with the films.
Yes.
Which one should I do first? I'll do... I'm going to write this down as I talk. Voyage...
I was about to say, tell us the movies that you have been seeing with your eyes.
That thing I was literally doing when you asked me to...
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just like, I was adding to the thing.
You were adding to the thing, were you?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for distracting the audience whilst I wrote down the time.
I was trying to like build. I was trying to help you out. Like, tell us the name of these movies. Then you could tell us a little bit about it. We can get excited. We can build the anticipation.
I'm sure what everyone at home is feeling right now is anticipation.
Solid, turgid, forceful anticipation.
Great. This is the film that I watched part of. Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet. It's from 1965.
That doesn't sound futuristic to me, Liam.
Well, it is. I only watched part of it because it was so old. I just couldn't be bothered. I was like, so old. Synopsis. The year is 2020. Having colonized the moon, 3 spaceships are sent to explore Venus. An asteroid destroys one of the ships. The 2 others are separated. And the film is basically these 2 ships trying to relocate each other, set up communications on Venus, and fighting off the prehistoric animals that live on Venus, apparently. That is the film.
I have questions.
There is an amazing line in the film, which just for some reason tickled me really, really hilariously. Upon landing on Venus, an astronaut stands up, brushes himself off, and goes, "Boy, it sure feels great to have weight." What? And when like these astronaut actors had been like in their chairs going, whoa, like clearly experiencing gravity the whole time. Like, boy, it sure feels strange to have weight.
Finally.
Fun fact, most of the credits on the US version of this film are phony in order to hide the fact that the film was made in Russia, which in the 60s was a no-no. And that's an interesting parallel with my other film, which we'll get to later. The vision of the future in this film, interestingly, had a lot of 60s hairstyles. I thought that was a weird choice.
A lot of 60s hairstyles?
Yes.
Oh, like... Okay, I get it. Like how Doctor Who can go anywhere in time and space, but really prefers modern-day London.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You have your pick of everywhere, but the set designer does not. Lots of men in plain suits. The astronauts were just wearing tinfoil. In 1965, I guess they thought we'd have settled the moon already and then be looking to colonize Venus. So in that regard, we have fallen short. I think we got to stop being so down on Donald Trump's Space Force because, like, he's clearly got the vision of the future that we had in 1965.
I really feel that at this point I should point out that the average temperature on Venus is about 460 degrees Celsius,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty warm.
Sure.
That's 860 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes. What's Spain?
Like 20?
Oh, okay. Brazil?
I mean, if you put water on Venus,
Yeah.
it would. I was gonna say it would boil 4.5 times faster, but it won't. It would like instantly evaporate because science.
But then how come there were dinosaurs on it?
That was gonna be my next question.
Oh, I didn't watch it. Like, I watched bits. They didn't get to the bit
Oh,
where they
I
explained the
see.
dinosaurs. That's just what was
I mean,
on the planet.
I wasn't like mocking you or anything. I was just
Okay, because it does feel like you're mocking me.
I just wanted to see if they had any, like, if it was mentioned or if they just fucking ignored it.
Oh, I think they anticipated there being some sort of mild peril on Venus. I don't know if they necessarily expected dinosaurs, because then the whole film would have a different title. I guess they thought it was good for colonizing. I guess in this world they had the technology to get to Venus, but not to look at it before they got there.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'd be like, ooh, let's not full of dinosaurs.
There's really toasty dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my first film. The Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet from 1965. You didn't really get a good look at Earth, because as far as I could tell, the spaceships take off from Mars. But yeah, like lots of 60s hairstyles, lots of plain suits.
Why would they take off from Mars when Earth is closer?
Sorry, I mean they were taking off from the moon, because we would have already settled the moon. So the moon is like the space station, I guess.
Okay. Again, I feel that would be silly because we don't need to really. The moon's pretty close.
I just made up a joke in my head about Star Wars. Do you want to hear it?
I would love to hear your made-up joke in your head about Star Wars.
I'm sort of workshopping it as I go, but I'm sure this will be good. Maybe Princess Leia's home planet was destroyed, or maybe she was looking in Alderaan places. It's good. It's a good joke.
It's
a good joke.
have not heard silence like that for some time.
It's a good joke.
When you're not making noise, my headphones don't do anything.
Oh, like noise
so
cancelling.
it was just perfect silence.
You could just hear the electrical noises in your brain, and that was it.
I could hear my heartbeat and nothing else.
Wow, that's good, man. But that is objectively a joke, at least.
It is a joke.
Thank you.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you so much. I'm really
The
proud of that.
first joke of 2021.
First joke.
We're,
statistically, probably the last.
we're about an hour in.
Yep.
And yeah, it's the first joke.
You're welcome.
Very proud of you.
Me too. I'm proud of
Please.
us. Go on, Ben. Tell us about your first film.
Now,
Okay.
I have a minor issue with this movie
Oh.
because I'm not certain if it's set in 2020 or if it's set in 2021.
I think we're sort of blurring.
That's not to say that it's in 2020 or 2021. It might not be in either.
Okay. Then why did you choose it?
Well, I didn't choose it. This was the thing.
Oh.
When it had been decided that we were going to do movies like this,
Yeah.
there was a list of films that were read out.
Oh yeah.
And I went, I'll do that one. So I assumed when I started watching it, I'll be honest, this morning, that it would be based in 2020 or 2021, but perhaps it was just sort of popped up and I didn't quite see. It was on the date somewhere.
I'll Google it. Which film is it?
Is Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Which does not start with an N.
No.
as I
Starts with
thought.
an
It
M.
starts with a J.
Ah,
Johnny.
Right.
Johnny.
That-
Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah. 5.7 out of IMDb. 12% Rotten Tomatoes. 1 out of 5 from Empire.
I did wonder if this had been chosen because it was bad. For a while, I thought that we weren't picking films based on the date. We were just seeing how bad a film we could get Ben to watch.
No, truly the goal was, what do these films think the future would be?
I mean, it's apparently very 80s.
Right, yeah.
I've made a list. Well, it's not a list. I've made a bubble of some words.
Johnny Mnemonic is set in 2021.
Well, there we go. That's a good.
That is a good. Well done. Well done, everybody.
It's well done. Points. It's it's remarkably 80s. We've got Keanu Reeves. He's like a smuggler of information.
Mm.
But he smuggles the information in his head.
Oh, he
He's
thinks
got, like,
about stuff.
He's got like a little disk drive in his head.
I could sell things, I reckon.
And apparently it's quicker to shove a load of stuff in his head. It's sensitive material, apparently.
Right.
And have him go from Toronto to Newark.
Right.
Because that's faster and easier and safer than sending an email. Sensitive material, I guess. The post.
Yeah.
Just having someone with the drive itself.
I don't know why it's got to be in his head, why he can't just have like a suitcase with a thumb drive in it or something.
That would also make sense. It was based on a short story from the 80s.
Yeah.
By a man, I believe. I have their name.
Bloody hell. You've done all the research.
I have. Here it is. William Gibson. Science fiction short story by American-Canadian writer William Gibson.
Ooh.
From 1981.
Bloody hell.
So he's got a lot of information on this disk drive. He can normally carry about 80 gigabytes.
Yeah.
But this information is 320 gigabytes.
So does he have to do the trip 5 times?
No, he's doubled his memory capacity, but has still exceeded his limit because.
Oh yeah,
So,
like when you've got a thumb drive that's full, you can go, no,
I'll
and fit
use the
double the
extra
stuff
space.
in. Yeah. Take the
So
plastic
he's-
off, and you can fit more on it.
So his brain is starting to melt. He's only got 24 hours to get this thing to the place.
Right.
He's also lost the memories of his childhood to make space for all of this knowledge that he's shipping back and forth.
Right, okay.
He's got the way he puts it in his head. It's like a USB matrix thing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's very small. I would lose it.
Yeah, of course you would.
I'd lose my head plug.
God, you ever tried to put a USB in without being able to see it? It's impossible. Even when you can
impossible.
see it, it's 50-50.
And now it'd be in the back of your head, surrounded by hair. Ugh.
Think it through, mnemonic.
And with this, obviously, it being the 80s, the Yakuza turn up
Oh, of course.
to try
of
and
course.
stop him. Because, that was the time when the Yakuza were baddies. It was before the Russians were baddies.
The Yakuza are actually doing IRL a lot of charity work because recruitment is so poor currently. I got that from No Such Thing as a Fish. So they're genuinely doing loads of charity work to try and improve their brand so that more people sign up to be Yakuza. Because all the films have painted them as actual big old murderers.
I'm going to be Googling Yakuza later.
That's a good way to make the Scientologists turn up. That was a throwback to the Tom Cruise fish stuff.
Don't Google it.
Don't Google it.
Don't you dare.
It's a good way to get the Yakuza to turn up.
So yes, the Yakuza turn up and try to steal
What?
things. in their enormous pleather black trench coats with collars up here,
Yep.
like a cross between Harry Hill and Ming the Merciless.
Amazing. Amazing.
And they shout and they shoot people with like automatic shot, big chunky cereal box guns.
Okay. Cereal
Keanu
box
Reeves-
guns.
Keanu Reeves escapes them using, and I shit you not, a hat with a built-in wig. He pops it on and he just walks out the elevator.
Yeah.
Ice-T is in it
Of course he is.
as someone called J-Bone.
Right. Lovely.
I'm not 100% sure what his
J-Bone.
part of the plot was. They were trying to move it. It was so 80s it hurt.
Yeah, it sounds pretty 80s.
You know, you can watch Terminator,
Thank you, I can.
and that's very 80s, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
This is just so 80s that I couldn't quite get involved with any of it.
Okay.
Like, I was reading the Wikipedia page as I was watching it.
Yeah.
It made a loss. No, it didn't. Sorry, that's the other film. It was $26 million. It made $52.4 million.
Okay.
But it really shows that it's 80s.
Yes.
It couldn't quite get away from it being so 80s, even though it was in the 90s. It was cyberpunk before we now know cyberpunk as something different.
Yes.
This was when cyberpunk was chunky black and white TV screens and big makeup.
Yeah. Yeah.
It now sort of looks dystopian.
Can you remember
Whether that was the point or not, I'm not certain.
Can you remember the character Takahashi?
Yes, he was the big boss man, I think.
Was he basically an evil character? Like, what's his whole deal?
He's a baddie, yes.
Okay. In the Japanese release of the film, there are several added scenes revolving around Takahashi, I guess to like paint him as a sympathetic baddie. So it wasn't just like Westerner good, Japanese bad.
Oh, he's sat at some point on a bed, and I think he's watching a hologram of his dead daughter.
Yes.
Which is just a bit creepy. It was a creepier scene than you're like, oh, that's a shame.
And there's also there's just a few other bits that revolve around his dead daughter. Like he takes a bunch of pills whilst watching tapes of his daughter. I think they tried to make him a bit more sympathetic. I love localization of films, especially like films where countries are specifically viewed as the baddie, and then the country's just like, no, come on, you've got to have him taking pills whilst watching pictures of his dead daughter, otherwise it's not going to fly.
I just saw that as a bit more sinister, like he'd lost the plot.
Yeah.
You know, like how was it the governor in Walking Dead? His daughter gets bitten.
Oh yeah.
So he just sort of keeps her tied up as a zombie.
Yeah.
And brushes her hair, and her hair falls out. You get the whole that's a sympathetic thing, but also Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It didn't really make me go, poor bloke. It was just
Christ.
Yeah, this happened and he's gone bananas.
Yes, he's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Pups. Wonderful. So they had like a cyberpunk view. Was like everything sort of sci-fi in that way?
It was it felt more just like it was the 80s.
Okay.
But they'd have TV remotes that did everything, and a little red light would flash up at the end of it whenever it was used.
Right.
They did have a VR thing.
Yeah.
Where they had gloves, so Keanu Reeves was typing a phone number in with gloves and a headset
Okay.
instead of the phone that he has.
Yeah, which feels like it'd be you've put a hat on a hat there, really, haven't you? Why not just use a phone?
He said that he could. Lots of very interesting hand movements.
Yes.
I need a computer. There's a bit whilst he's in the VR headset where he's shouting at a bad guy or possibly someone, I couldn't quite tell. And he said that he could shred their hard drive from here or something along those lines. And it just had a shot of Keanu Reeves with this blindfold thingy on and these big gloves, just rising his hands up like a fucking marionette on speed.
Amazing.
I could destroy you. It was a. I don't want to say it was a poorly acted film because it wasn't.
Right.
But there were bits where you wondered maybe where the budget was spent.
Yes.
Like there was a guy who came out of the building to I'm assuming try to shout, "You can't get away from me, you asshole!" Like that. You can't get away from me, you asshole. It was like he was told to shout, but you can't shout too loud because it will mess with the mics.
Or like the director said, you've got to really yell it, and there's a librarian next to him who's like, you can't yell. This is a library. Like, which one do I?
Yell it, but quietly.
Yeah. You can't go above 30 decibels. Like, I don't know, is that loud? Like, yeah.
It's not a movie that's aged well, nor do I think that it's predicted the future greatly.
Yes, it sounds a bit like that.
But hey, for a movie that was based on a short story, that's something that I haven't got. But yeah, I won't be finishing. I won't be rewatching.
Amazing.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I can see why Empire gave it 1 out of 5 stars.
Yes.
And why it's got like 12%.
Awesome.
Sorry, Keanu.
You idiots.
I love you to bits, but
not the biggest cyberpunk disaster in Keanu Reeves' acting history, though, by the sounds of it.
well, no, quite recently he has been in Cyberpunk 2077, which is what we now think of in terms of cyberpunk.
Yes. Yes.
With the augmentations and stuff they have there, I think this movie had 80s makeup.
Yes. Bit different.
Yeah.
Shall I do my couple YouTube things? These are quite short.
I would like you to do a couple of YouTube things, please.
So basically just I did a bit of a YouTube, did a bit of a Google foo. I was interested to see if anyone had done videos about what past predictions of our present day would be. Got a couple videos. The first one here is the past predictions for 2020 we got very wrong by a channel called Second Thought, who hitherto I did not know, and very is in capitals because it's clickbaity.
Good use of hitherto.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's my word of the year. Tick. 1964, a company called Rand Corporation, for some reason decided to get a bunch of scientists together to decide what the future would be. I have no idea who fucking Rand Corporation are. I'm sure it's not important. So in 64, scientists thought that by 2020, most households would have a robot butler. And those that couldn't afford one would probably have monkeys by now.
Oh yeah,
And
I remember monkey butlers.
And they thought that monkey drivers would decrease the number of road accidents.
Wow.
So, on the one hand, no monkey butlers, but that has sort of stayed kind of prevalent in zeitgeisty thoughts about futures. I think that's where the whole monkey butler meme came from. But it is also interesting that, like, it depends on what you define as a robot butler, because, like, lots of people have Roombas.
I was gonna mention this. Roombas are a thing.
Yes.
People have Alexas.
Yeah.
Alexa, play the Doctor Who theme song. Just in case anyone has an Alexa, I wanted to annoy them with Doctor Who.
Alexa,
But,
subscribe to the Conversation Hat podcast.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
But there's people, I know people who have their Alexa on constantly.
Yeah.
It turns on the lights on and off in every room of their house.
Yeah.
Alexa, they set alarms. You can order food through them.
Yeah.
I think you can get them so they turn the heating on.
Yes.
They play music, their alarms. What? How is that not a household robot?
Well, I think the robot butler would do things like prepare food, maybe do the shopping for you.
Alexa can do
set your,
that.
but Alexa can't put your pants out in the morning.
That's true.
I think
but
that's more of a traditional butler role. But like you're right in terms of like automation and Alexa type things and smart homes. Yeah, no, we are getting closer to that. The fact that I've got my studio lights are operated from my phone, so I can just turn them on and off. I think that's pretty nifty. Yeah, so it's not miles off. Just that I really dwelt on the monkey butler aspect of that one, to be honest.
Can I just gently interrupt you for a moment?
Please do.
Something that I have bought a radio.
Ooh.
And I think I might have
Very-
mentioned that I was
very
going
modern.
to buy I was going to buy a radio on the last live stream, but
Yeah.
I have now bought it.
Cool.
You say very modern. It looks like I can't be asked to go and get it.
Fair
It
enough.
looks like a block of wood,
Yes.
but it has a digital time glowing through it.
Yeah.
It's an
Digital
alarm,
time.
it's all this, that's cool. But if I put my phone on top of it,
Yeah.
my phone charges
Yeah. Wireless charging.
wirelessly.
Yes.
I know that I could Google this and find out how that works, and I would be able to understand that. But I really enjoy not knowing.
Yeah. I totally know what
Because
you mean.
It feels like magic.
It's the future, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you mean.
I get a genuine bit of techno joy
Yeah.
when I put my phone on there and it goes buzz.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah.
We have wireless electricity. What the fuck?
My the battery in my my tablet has swollen, so the screen currently bulges. And I googled it. Turns out if it's on, it might explode. So I need to get that taken care of. Just thought I'd share that. That's just my tech related oopsie. This other video. Where's my notes? What the past predicted would live like today? ? What the past predicted would live like today? By a channel called Think Facts, also hitherto unknown. I didn't get a date for these predictions, but it felt like late 50s nearly.
Okay.
TV's so thin they can hang on a wall. Wider screens but slimmer builds.
Can I just go back to that a little? In the 90s, I had a TV that could hang on the wall.
Yeah.
It just had a really big, chunky metal arm.
Oh, you can hang anything on the wall if it's like a supporting wall. Yeah, but that
But
was...
I understand
yeah.
the thin ones that could just hook on with screws.
Yeah.
We got them.
Yeah, exactly. And they were also dead on about they thought we'd have portable phones.
Yep.
You'd be able to set your... They thought that you would be able to like set your air conditioning by phone and tell your fridge that you love it, stuff like that. But you would have to like go to a payphone and like dial a specific number and then like set like a command through numbers or something rather than just like smartphone Bluetooth done. So they
We're
were
not quite right, but pretty
no,
close.
they were dead on about what we would be using phones for. They just didn't get that phones would be like portable and quite such a big part of our everyday lives. Video doorbells, they also knew. So like if you're on the crapper and
Yep.
the Amazon guy turns up, not that they knew what that would be, you don't have to stand up and wipe to like go get your package. You can just tell them to leave it there.
Leave it there, I'm having a poo.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was interesting. There was one bit that I thought was really interesting where they were talking about, I think it was on this video, women's fashion and how like women's fashion would be very futuristic, and you could be like, you'd have like invisible Velcro sleeves. So like you could have one dress and then like rip the arms off and you're ready to party. And like how men's fashion would all be about having these accessories. So we could have like, I've got a phone right here if you need to tell the fridge you love it, and I've got a pocket full of sweets here if you're feeling snacky. It was I like how men had like pocket change and stuff, and that was the future. Like women don't have sleeves anymore.
Similar to that,
yes.
like the jacket that has fucking pockets for everything.
Yes.
I've seen one of those, but I've never seen anyone wear it.
I guess the whole thing from the 60s is like, we can't let women know. We can't. If the women work out, they can have pockets. Men as a gender are done for.
What shall we do? Give them sleeves that they can take off. That'll distract them from the men's pockets.
But if they tie a knot in one end of the sleeve, they have a portable pocket.
Silence!
Science has gone too far. So those are my YouTube facts, which I rather enjoyed.
I enjoyed them also. You reminded me of a thing that Bill Bailey once said on an episode of QI.
Oh yeah.
When he was a young lad in the West Country, for a school trip, they went to go and see a computer.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
that was like, the size of someone's living room.
Yeah.
Or the size of this huge computer, and the bloke giving the talk went, "Yes, in the future, we think that there will be about 6 of these."
Yes, I loved that.
And you're like, yeah, there's parts of the future that people could not possibly predict.
He wasn't wrong though. There are at least 6.
There's about 6 of them.
I mean, there's one here,
more.
one there. Laura's got one. You're using one. That's 4.
And all of our phones.
They're also phones. Yeah.
But that's 6 just in this conversation.
Hats podcast.
There's people probably thought at some point, oh yeah, we're going as fast as we ever will.
Yeah.
And then people get into fucking rockets and shoot across the desert.
Yeah.
That, I don't think that's going to be as accessible a thing as computers are now.
Yeah.
But, some shit happens that you don't see coming.
But what, not that you'd necessarily know, but like, what would that computer that Bill Bailey saw as a kid, what would that have been used for? Because it's possible that that application only requires there to be 6 of those computers in the world. Whereas now, like, everyone needs a computer because you got to fucking play that Tetris, otherwise you'll go mad. So I wonder if it wasn't for games, if, like, there might not be quite so many computers. They just wouldn't be so prevalent if we didn't have Tetris. Tetris or Mario, those are your options.
I feel that computer technology was advancing considerably before Tetris.
Yeah.
Or even Pong was a thing.
Yeah.
I would, as I said, I don't know, but I would hazard a guess that it was information storage.
Yeah.
Or conversion. That's what most computers seem to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're for doing stuff, but it's primarily for holding information. Oh, I'm not a science boy.
And you never will be. Ben, do you want to tell us about your second film?
I would love to tell you about my second film.
Jolly good.
My second film reinforces the suspicion that I had earlier that I was not being given movies from 2020 or 2021, that I was just giving movies that hadn't done very well in the old reviews.
Okay.
The movie that I watched, with a 55% positive rating, a 59% Metacritic rating, was Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. A unsuccessful
Whoa.
101-minute movie that isn't based in 2020 or 2021 as far as I can tell.
I'm going to Google it again, and it is.
I mean,
because it wouldn't be on this list if it wasn't.
I've looked through, but I don't know if it was. It was certainly not mentioned in the movie.
It's on a Wikipedia list of films set in 2021. It's
Didn't
also on a
mention
list
that-
of male bisexuality in film.
Didn't mention that in the movie.
But I think it has
don't
to.
remember there being any male bisexuality.
In fairness, there's not many
Off the
films
top of
set
my
in
head.
in 2021. Carnage, Long Shot, can't say that. Mission to Mars, Moon 02, Steel Rain 2, Summit, Weathering with You, A Quiet Place, Johnny Mnemonic, and It's All About Love.
Quiet Place. That's a good movie.
Yes.
Could have talked about that.
But
I
that
didn't.
came out like a couple of years ago, so it was more about like just add 3 years to whatever the time
it's
is.
just stuff happening now.
Yeah.
Like in a couple of years, not
Whereas Seeking a Friend for the End of the World came out in 2012.
2012, starring
So,
Steve
yeah.
Carell and Keira Knightley,
Yes,
amongst others.
amongst others.
I
so
will give you a brief plot.
please do.
The movie begins with Steve Carell and his character's wife sitting in a car,
Mm-hmm.
listening to the news that the spaceship sent up to destroy the 7-kilometer asteroid that was coming towards the Earth has failed,
Oh.
and the world is gonna basically blow up in 3 weeks.
Ooh, fun.
Upon hearing this news, Steve Carell's wife gets out of the car and runs away from him.
Wow. Yeah, fair
And
enough.
It's quite an it's not a bad film.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it deserved 55% positive, but I don't think it deserved 45% negative.
Okay.
I feel like it should have been a bit better, but not
Okay.
much better.
So tiny bit harsh.
I watched it, and as I was watching it, I found it really interesting to see how the different people were portrayed in how they were dealing with it.
Hmm.
So at the beginning, Steve Carell's character Dodge,
Normal name.
right, still going to work for the first week in this insurance company where there's like 5 people.
Right.
The supervisor just sort of like shaking and laughing a little bit, trying to get through the day, saying how many job opportunities have suddenly arisen. One woman's just crying. Another guy's just going, this is all pointless. But they still go to it. There's a cleaner who's just ignoring it. It's just like, I'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah, I love it.
You see people, but then you also see people in, I don't know if Frenzies is an actual brand, but I think it was meant to be like a Little Chef's or a Denny's
Right, yeah.
sort of thing. And they go in there and everyone's drunk. The staff are just like, yeah, we might as well stay here. They're just giving weird food. They're like, do you want to hear the specials? Our chefs are getting real creative. So they've just got a burger that's in between 2 donuts.
Nice. I love it.
Because why the fuck not? that then descends into an orgy.
Of course.
You
God,
see
you
a little
put two
house
donuts
party.
with meat in it next to me, and like, I'll fuck everyone. Can't stop
You see,
me.
like, there's like a dinner party at one point where it's all just sort of dinners and drinks, and then they're mulling around listening to music, and someone goes, "Hey guys, Janice bought heroin," and and they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, fair enough.
And then there's people still just like mowing the lawn, and
Yeah.
I really liked how you could see the difference between the two. You know, between all of the because that's how it would be. Some
Yeah.
people would get sad and jump off of things. Some people would just cry. A lot more people than I think we realize would just try and ignore it.
Oh, totally.
And
Like
get on with normal.
I literally, like, I was trying to think as you were saying that, like, literally, what would I do with that time? Because there's no point in anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, and there's not that much stuff that, like everything I want to do with my life is sort of income dependent or like career based. So, like, I'm not going to be able to achieve anything in a couple of weeks that's like on my bucket list or anything that I'm really interested in. So, like, I'm just going to be eating instant noodles and just being completely naked for a few weeks, I think.
So
Naked noodle time.
I don't think you would know what you would do until you were in a situation where a huge rock was about to destroy
And it
all
would
life
probably be
on Earth.
ignore it, to be honest, or work
It
out
may well
what's the furthest away I need to be. Yeah, anything like that.
No, it was you can't get away from this.
Right, yeah.
It's happening. All life is finishing.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.
But then
Not.
it genuinely made me think about the world at the moment, because
Yeah.
those people who were ignoring it were clearly doing it because they were scared. They
Yes.
were they were so scared that they were denying what was happening in some way to just hold on to some sort of semblance of normality.
Yeah.
To try and deal, because they can't deal with it any other way because they're that scared. And I wonder if that is what's happening with all these people who are anti-lockdown and anti-mask
possibly.
and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not going, oh, this is a thing of our civil rights. It could be, I mean, I'm sure there's some idiots doing that.
Probably.
But the majority, and whether they know it or not, I would put a fair bit of money on, not that you could prove it, that they were doing this because of fear.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And it has to be fake, because otherwise it's real.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And if it's real, that's frightening. But what's
it's
weird about
yeah.
with our current situation, which I'm not clear on, I think there's some sort of cold going around. I'm not clear.
Apparently it's just the flu.
Oh, good. Well, that's all right then. No problems there. The difference with our situation is that, like, actually people ignoring it and carrying on as normal and not wearing a mask like an idiot is how it gets worse. Like, with a big meter, it is like there is nothing you can do as an individual to exacerbate the situation or make it better. But with COVID, it's entirely down to how individuals act. That means it will go away or get worse. So that's the only difference where, like, I think it's fair enough to be afraid and it's fair enough to want to get back to normal. But you not wearing a mask is preventing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder if wearing a mask would stop a massive rock hitting Earth. How many people would do it?
Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough.
I think that's the right.
Yeah.
I think that's the damn good answer.
Like
Not
by a factor of 2 or 3 people, by like a couple %, not enough.
enough.
Like very nearly, and then inexplicably not enough. Yeah.
But no, it's a good movie.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know
I'm
if-
thinking about mortality now, so that must be in some ways a good film.
It was a very interesting, because it was almost sort of like a rom-com
Yeah.
but it was also a disaster movie.
Yes.
So it had little elements of both. Whether it worked well or not,
Yeah.
I think that's where you come to the 55%. That's probably why it's quite cut down the middle, because I enjoyed it because it was something I'd never seen, an apocalyptic disaster, whatever you want to call it, that was also a rom-com in that way.
Yes.
I mean, like Shaun of the Dead, arguably, but there's a turning point in Shaun of the Dead where something happens and then the tone of the whole movie changes.
Yeah.
This has got like little bits thrown in.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you would regret watching it. It's on Amazon. It's for free. It's on the Prime Video, whatever.
So, do they have any like depictions of the future, or is it just people dying?
Again, it feels like it's just sort of modern,
Okay.
present day, which is why I thought you were trying to fuck with me. By,
No, we were just looking for
just
films
giving me-
set then.
Okay.
By then, I mean now. Okay, that's
Or
cool.
perhaps, it did predict the future because people are ignoring
Yeah.
a big old global thing.
If only it was a simple asteroid rather than this apparently very nuanced thing that has a very simple fix. Wear the mask.
Mm. People still wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, people suck. Shall we move on to my second and final movie?
Please do.
My second and final movie is called Droid. Droid is a movie set in 2020. It was a direct-to-video sci-fi film made in 1988. The plot takes place in 2020.
That's gotta be good.
Oh boy. Synopsis. Taylor, wonderful name. Taylor is a member of the Eliminators police force and is sent to recover a digital decoder that will shut down the renegade police force of robots, or droids, because it's sci-fi. Taylor is distracted by how sexy the future is. The plot... the plot...
Is that actually what it says?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The plot is built on Blade Runner, like really, really obviously it's Blade Runner. And it also features a really obvious C-3PO knockoff. Now, the thing about this film is that all the credits for the lead roles, and because it was direct to video, so on the front of the video it has one set of names. On the reverse of the video, it has a different set of names for the same characters. And on the actual credits on the physical film, the names are also different. Three different names for lead characters.
Like the actors?
The actors' names are different. There's three
Wow.
versions. So the editors are really obviously trying to hide the actors' real names. Now, Benedict, why might that be? In your humble opinion, why that?
I mean, often I can't remember the name that they use, but there's one director with more movies credited to their name than any other, because that is not pseudonym,
Right.
that directors will put on movies that they are not proud of.
Oh, okay.
So if there is a movie that's an absolute flop and they do not want to be associated with, they will put this name up instead of
Right.
theirs.
Okay.
So that's where my brain's going,
Okay.
because no one really wanted to be associated with. They just threw names out.
That's a good guess. Drawing on your knowledge of film and cinema history there, I love it. But this is not the director this is the actors that their names are different, and their names are different in 3 different places. So if you were trying to, that kind of almost draws attention to it. If you're trying to hide
it's done 3 times is odd.
Yeah. The reason is Droid is actually an alternate edit of another film released the previous year, 1987. Cabaret Sin was a porn. And what's nuts is that in terms of the plot, albeit limited, these 2 movies are the same. That both films are essentially Blade Runner dressed as Star Wars. Who knows why? But Droid just has all the actual hardcore sex taken out, but still has them going to a strip club, and the guy still doesn't do his mission because of how sexy the future is. Like, they're the same film, it's just that there's actual penetration in Cabaret Sin.
So they did Blade Runner but porn.
Yeah.
With Cabaret of Sin.
Cabaret Sin. But they had
Sin.
loads of people like dressed as Star Wars for no reason.
And so they took Blade Runner and did it as Star Wars porn.
Yes.
And then took all the sex out.
Most of the sex. Not
Most
all,
of the sex.
just the actual
I'm sorry.
penetration.
Okay, so the penetrative bits.
The physical act of fucking.
They took out.
Yeah.
And then they made a film. They called it a different name.
Yep.
So it was Blade Runner Star Wars
look at the
porn
cogs work.
without the porn in it.
Look at him trying to work it out. Yeah.
So why were there 3... So why was... If it was the same movie...
Yeah.
Why were the actors named differently 3 times? Even if it was 2 movies, I could understand why they would be different twice.
Yes.
Because of some fuck up, but...
So I believe what it is if if you name the actors, it's really obvious it's a porn film or was a porn film. So I guess they changed their names to hide the fact that they had edited an actual porn film. I guess it'd be like if you go to a DVD shop, If you go to Netflix and you see,
yep.
I don't know, Riley Reid starring in, you're going to be like,
dicks are plenty.
There'll be dicks in that. So I guess like they hide that because these names were, from what I can tell from my limited understanding of the 80s, these were like some of the big adult movie stars. So like if they had their names on the front of a box set, like everyone would be like, oh, it's a porn film. So you changed their names to hide the fact that it used to be a porn film, because I guess they're trying to sell it as like just a slightly raunchy actual film rather than just straight up porn. That's my guess. But then why they managed to screw it up in such a way that draws attention to the names being different, maybe they wanted people to think, oh, maybe it was like a promotion for the Cabaret Sin film. Maybe they had this one, like, if you think that's sexy, you should see this other one.
Wait until this.
So like the fact that the actors' names are different, and none of these 3 actors that played this one dude or this lady are like, none of these are actually people. So you look into it and you're like, oh, it was a different film, and then you watch that film. That's the only thing I can think of. But I don't know if that's like too meta or too forward thinking for the late 80s. Just a theory. Anyway, according to this film, 2020 should have been very sexy, but in a late 80s cocaine kind of way, which just sort of feels greasy from the perspectives of the actual 2020. 2020 is, I would say, was not that sexy. I mean, OnlyFans took off, which I guess is like a little more woke and slightly better for the environment than this
yeah,
film.
but I don't know how. I mean, at one point, the British government essentially made sex illegal. So I don't know how sexy a year where that happened could possibly be.
But then OnlyFans took off. So
I was
like,
about to say,
I think
there's
a lot of people.
OnlyFans to compensate it.
Yeah.
I've not heard of any like speakeasy style brothels, but I suppose all brothels would be speakeasies.
It's pretty hard to speak easy with one of them in your mouth. I don't know. To be honest, I do not know, but that was how this film thought the future would be. I didn't watch it. Just either of them.
Fair enough.
I didn't watch Cabaret Sin or Droid. But yes, I have seen Blade Runner.
Just out of, just if you were interested,
Go on.
it's Alan Smithy.
Yes,
is the pseudonym.
Some guy named Cy just put that in the chat.
And a number of films. There's a movie called Hamlet 3.
Right.
The Cringe Panda Show.
Okay.
There's some very interesting.
What's a cringe panda? Is that like a red panda, but it does awkward
Star
things?
Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith recreated in less than an hour.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
There's How to Make a Film. Neo Wolf. There's yeah. Hellraiser Bloodline. Sorry, Hellraiser Bloodlines. Yeah, there's some weird.
Good stuff.
Well,
who
directed this porn madness?
Porn madness.
Was it
That'd
Alan
be a great
Smithy?
film. Let's have a look. Let me do a Google. Philip Adrian Booth, also known. Oh, hang on. So it was actually Philip Adrian Booth, but his director name was Peter O'Toole.
Like the actor.
But also Peter Williams, depending on which version, I guess.
Well, maybe that's why all the actors actually had 3 names, because this guy did too.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's fun.
Lovely. Well, those were our films. We
Those were
hope
our
you
films.
enjoyed them.
Do we have good news and plugs?
I do have. I've got a couple of little good newsy bits.
Shall I do the good news jingle?
Do the good news jingle, if you please.
I'm doing it now, I hope. It hasn't done it. What about now?
Good news, everyone!
Yeah. Good news.
I did
baby.
I did it. I heckin' did it. I pressed the button. It went real well. Go on, Ben.
Now, I have a little bit of sciencey and a little bit of positive COVID. Not a test that is positive.
Okay.
Not like that. This is fine. So before my little COVID thing,
Yeah.
researchers,
Ooh.
those people what do research, have found a way to take carbon out of the sky, I believe carbon monoxide,
Mm-hmm.
and convert it into plane fuel.
Right.
Jet fuel would be a good. And that's then they fly with that.
Nifty. So does that mean that planes flying can refuel by
will-
just opening the window?
Not probably a little bit more sciencey than that.
Sure.
But it does mean that using the CO2 from the air, that aviation will become essentially carbon neutral.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
I'm not reading this. 2.4% of CO2 footprint emissions come from the airy planes.
That sounds about right.
Roughly,
Yeah.
apparently. So, obviously, this is going to be a tricky thing but University of Oxford have been doing some shit, capturing atmospheric CO2 and converting it into a jet fuel range of hydrocarbons.
You very fancy.
Yeah, don't know how much more sciencey you want me to get, but
How much more sciencey are you? Can trees already do that?
trees don't quite turn it into jet fuel, do they?
Trees don't fly. I think that's the point.
You can't go to Malaga on a tree.
What? You can if you've got another tree to paddle it with.
Or like this very bendy tree, and you're like, "Whang!" like a trebuchet. So yeah, you can Google that if you want more science.
Amazing.
Possibly Google trees as well.
Science trees.
And my little bit of positive COVID-y news.
Yeah.
There is an Italian gentleman in London who hasn't been to the. I mean, now this may be a slightly misleading headline. Hasn't been to the grocery store in 8 months.
Okay.
Because of his little garden that was inspired by his grandfather.
Ah.
I will assume that he also has gone to the shop for, like, toilet paper and toothpaste. He's a 29-year-old tattoo artist named, and I apologise for pronunciation, Alessandro Vitale.
I was really hoping
Alessandro
for.
Vitale.
I apologise for the pronunciation. John Hopkins.
Alessandro Vitale.
Okay.
I think maybe. He's grown pepper. He always used to grow chili peppers and mint on his windowsill. And then during lockdown, he turned his 8x5 meter patio area into a place where he grew veggie bubbles, tomatoes, and other things like that.
Cool.
30 different kinds of vegetable, including cabbage, carrots, garlic, fennel, leeks, cauliflower, and broccoli. 35 kilograms of tomatoes from 6 plants, and 10 kilograms of 17 different types of chili. Everything was organic, used foraged wild nettle for pest control. I don't know what that is. Maybe he's just hitting neighbours trying to steal his tomato. Get out!
Get out of it.
Get away!
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah.
And apparently aloe vera to make fertilizer. So yeah, I thought that was that was a nice little spin.
Yeah.
Because normally when you hear COVID stuff, I mean, the majority is negative, bad, unpleasant news. There's some nice things, but even the nice things are kind of bad. I thought that was one that was,
Yeah.
majoritively good.
Yeah.
Good news for good news.
Majoritively. Is that a word? Because I like it.
That's a word, isn't it? I think it's a word.
Oh, yeah,
What's
it
your
is.
good news?
Oh,
there's some good news. Majoritively is a word.
Majoritively is a real word. Okay, my news is about the tampon tax. In March 2020, Rishi Sunak, Bell End, basically committed to abolishing the tampon tax as soon as the UK left the EU. But like everything our government says, you sort of have to, see it and then check the source in order to believe it.
When Britain seamlessly left the EU back in 2017.
Yeah. So
then.
This is just a little headline taken from Euronews.com. Under EU law, nations cannot reduce the rate of value-added tax on menstrual products below 5% as they are deemed to be luxury items and not essentials. Wrongly or rightly, that is what the EU says. So now I'm a staunch Remainer. That's not surprising to anyone with a brain. I believe everyone was lied to and everyone should feel real bad.
That's because they were and they should.
Quite. But this is a positive thing that has happened. A positive thing that could only have happened with Britain leaving the EU. We could have campaigned for the whole of Europe to reclassify sanitary products over the last decade and positively affected the lives of many more women, but at least our proud British fannies will be slightly more affordable to maintain. Yes, I did write that. So it is positive. It is a bit like
a fucking t-shirt. I'll buy 6 of them.
it is positive. We could have stayed in the EU and fought for more, but like, you know, it is a positive thing. And to be honest, if that was on the side of a bus, it wouldn't have swayed my vote, but I would have thought the country were slightly less dicks. So Ben, what are you going to do with your 5%?
I'm going to spend it on world peace.
I'm going to buy a Mars bar.
I am going to donate my entire 5% of the ladies' sanitary towels that I do not buy and sanitary products not. I don't use them, Liam. I wasn't expecting this to be a question.
That was the joke.
But the answer I wanted to give, or should have given, would be that the money that I save, I am going to put towards starting a campaign to get UK back into the EU.
No, because then you'll have to pay more on your sanitary products.
And abolish all sanitary product taxes from within.
But hey, at least we can fish in that bit where we can't fish. Hey? Because the fishing industry has been decimated because of the Tories. So that's my good news. It sort of is technically good news. Do you have any plugs, Ben?
I do have a plug, which I got from a friend on Facebook. She has released a number of books. I think her 3rd one will be coming out. This isn't actually what I'm plugging, but I should mention Marie Price.
Hey, Marie. Is this an auxiliary plug?
This is a extra little plug that I didn't expect to do. The Caged Kingdom and the books relating to that. She's got the 3rd one coming out soon.
Bloody hell.
So if you like books that come in 3s, there's one. Go
such
buy
a shame because I only like books that come in 2s, and I can't read.
Well, just get 2 of them.
Just get 2 of them. No, I'll have to buy one of them once and one of them twice. No. I forgot the joke I made. Never mind.
Don't. That's confusing.
Where can people get said books?
Amazon. That's where I got mine.
Is that I've not heard of Amazon. Is that like a physical bookstop?
Just a little website or something.
A little website or something.
But yes, because through her and through the new year,
yes,
both of those things, her being a person and the new year being a thing, what happened? She shared a thing on Facebook called Goodreads. Which is an app and website.
I know Goodreads.
Basically, I've downloaded it just to use one aspect, but I'm sure there are others. I'm doing a reading challenge. I have challenged myself to read 42 books this year.
Jesus.
And you can type in what book you're reading, and it'll pop up, and you click I am reading this, and then when you've finished reading it, you click read, and it says, boom, one of your 42 books has been read. So I am doing that.
Is that an achievable goal for you, 42?
Yes.
Okay, that's mad.
I've already done one.
In 3 days?
Yes. To be fair, it was Attack on Titan Colossal Edition 4.
Right.
Which is basically 5 mangas.
Okay. So you've read 5 books.
So technically I have read 5 books.
Okay.
But they're graphic novels.
Okay.
Which are no less important as books, but a lot quicker to read in most cases.
Certainly.
So I'm still counting that as a book. Particularly as there were 5. I won't count it as 5. but so there'll be a number. There's a number of shorter books on my reading list, so I think I will be able to do it.
Good stuff.
But in 2020, almost counterintuitively, I didn't read anywhere near as much as I have in previous years, or as you would think that I would have done because I had so much free time. I think because I used to go and sit and read in the pub.
Yeah.
Or on my lunch break from work. So that's time that I've not been doing those things.
There's no pub and no work.
Right?
Mm.
Sucks. So I'm going to focus on reading some more, and this little app I think will help me get on with that and make progress, and it can help you make progress too.
I mean, not me, because I can't read.
And I'm not sponsored by Goodread, by the way. Although, if you
would be.
But yeah, I just sort of think that I like having a little, almost a counter, to say, look, this is how much you've done of your thing.
That's cool. I like it.
So if you're wanting to read more, get something like that. That's my plug.
Hang on, I'm just doing some Google Foo, because I have a feeling. There is an affiliate program for Goodreads. You can make money from your widget. Apparently.
Don't you talk about my widget.
The affiliate marketing shelf is a thing you could do. Just saying. Anyway, my plug is The Man in the High Castle. Now, I made a joke about not knowing what Amazon is. I've been watching this on Amazon Prime. It's quite good. It's a series loosely based on Philip K. Dick's novel of the same name, The Man in the High Castle. It's basically it's one of them "What if the Nazis won" stories.
Yeah.
So it takes place in America, which has basically been divided down the middle. The western side is owned by Japan. The eastern side is owned by the Reich, and there's like a strip in the middle which is, I don't know, mountains and black people, basically. So it's, and yeah, no, it literally is, because like neither side is especially pleasant to anyone. Anyone that isn't like precisely the right kind of Caucasian, or not Japanese. So like basically everyone's run away to the middle. You follow it's a little bit convoluted because it's sort of hard to know the actual goals of the main characters. You sort of follow a American senior SS officer, and he's got a spy who is this American dude, and it's sort of hard to know if he is actually like working for the Nazis or if he's sort of trying to be more self-serving. And there's a woman who sort of the central female character, she sort of works for it's tricky, she kind of works for the anti-Japanese insurgency, but then when the Japanese get a hold of her, she buggers off and joins like the Nazi side of things. And it's like, yeah, it's really interesting how like how sort of the shifting allegiances, and there's like, is there going to be a war between Japan and the Reich? Is there the chief SS guy that you follow? He runs into trouble with like I won't go into detail, but basically like he's got a family situation which is not particularly Nazi friendly, so he then has to deal with that. And then it's like, oh, is he actually
not Nazi friendly? What a
damn. What warning?
More
Triggering
things
if
these days should be Nazi friendly. I've
yeah
always said it.
Yeah. Fucking snowflakes. I'm struggling to describe it a bit because I hadn't really properly thought about it, but it is like really hard to sort of keep track of whose allegiances are where, and basically like I think the whole point is that everyone's self-serving regardless of whatever regalia they wear or what bit of the planet they live on. Like ultimately people have got to kind of look out for themselves, and how you sort of conform to specific situations just for your own self, just for your own survival. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. The Nazis don't come off particularly well, but then neither do the Japanese. It doesn't really sound like the end of a statement, does it? But it is.
No.
I truly have no more to say. I really wish... Like, I struggle to think of what I've been enjoying, so I just wrote down The Man in High Castle, and then, like, I think I very intelligently crafted the tampon tax bit, but then I wrote down The Man in the High Castle for this, and I feel like if I put a bit more time in, I'm sorry.
Well, do you know, Liam, what you have done here, with you saying all of these things, I'm going to add that to my list on Goodread. So that could be one of my 42 books this year.
It's really loosely based on
How
that.
long is the book?
I have no idea, because I'm talking about the TV show.
Okay.
And it's only really loosely based on the book.
All right, then. Well, hey, we can then I can watch it, and we can compare notes.
You've just seen all of my
notes.
notes.
Them Nazis are wrong uns.
Bloody Nazis. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, I think that is our show, Ben. What do you think?
Oh, God, that's it done.
That's it done. That's all the notes, so it must be the end.
We better say bye.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Should I say it again? I've just said it. Should I say it again?
Shall we do that thing where we end the podcast and then end the live stream? Does that make sense?
Go on, then.
Thank you for listening to the Conversation App podcast. This is...
Bye!
Nailed it. This podcast is a independent endeavor between three people who should have known better 4 years ago, but apparently didn't. If you would like,
we got no mates.
We got no friends. If you would like to support us doing this show, and the fact that you've listened means that you might, we have merch on TeePublic. We have a Patreon for people to literally give us money. You can also come watch the live streams on YouTube and Twitch. And if you come to Twitch, you can give us a subscribe on Twitch. If you are a Amazon Prime type person, you actually get one free subscribe every month. So we would get money, but you would pay no extra money. How's about that? You are also about to hear an advert that says very much the same thing. Because I
enjoy that
advert. Ben, where can people find you online?
Oh God, I'm everywhere.
You're not. You're mostly only on
Twitter.
Instagram.
I'm mainly on Instagram. Something that I will be putting much more time and attention to.
I believe you.
At Spike Pierson, Pierson.
All one word.
On the Instagrams, you'll know that it's me because there'll be pictures of me.
That is how we know.
There'll be other stuff, but it'll be my face. If you see that, click it. That's probably me.
I am mostly on Twitter at LT Guitarist, all one word. I talk about music and stuff. Yeah.
I really think that there's probably one already, but we should start a Twitter account.
Right.
Just called Mostly.
Okay.
I'm mostly on Twitter.
Okay. I don't know if that's a very common phrase. I get what you're doing, but I don't think enough people say that.
If we say it enough, then it will have been said enough times.
Sure. That was the podcast.
Right?
No,
I'm not wrong.
You are wrong. Bye.
Bye.
So that was the end of the podcast. You can hit stop on the recorder now.
Yeah. All you listening at home, you press stop on that recorder.
So now I guess we just got to say bye to the live stream lovelies, who are similar to the podcast lovelies, but they're here
committed.
now. They are slightly more committed because they showed up on time. Thanks for that. Hi.
Thanks much, Lee.
I actually don't have anything extra to say though.
Live stream babies. No, nor do I. Thanks.
Thanks
We'll
for
be
being
here again. We'll be here again at the end. This is a double live stream month.
Yes, it is.
Because January goes on for fucking ages.
Too much January.
So we'll be here in another 4 weeks.
On the 31st.
Then that means that live streams will now be at the end of the month instead of the beginning of the month. You'll still have the same amount.
Yeah. Well, they're every 4 weeks. From
So
today.
stop complaining.
Shut up.
God.
Shut up.
For fuck's sake.
Come on, Stephen.
That's enough.
That is your real name.
All right.
Shall we wrap up?
Bye.
Bye.
Bullet, and it like drove itself into my gut.
Hey, don't worry. You don't have to make up stories here. Save that for court. Save that for court.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers. Bart may be seriously hurt. Could we possibly go ahead of you?
No. I really would rather get this taken care of. No. I really would rather. No.
Excuse me, little lady. Wheelbarrow line is over there. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
Where do all the bad colours go when they break the law? They get sent to prison. About knaves, they liars, they steal and they're known to misbehave. They will tell you that they can take all your secrets to the grave, but they will speak them to the world for the attention that they crave. The only kind of person that could ever trust a knave would be another knave. Additional knave. Hey, look